Hi, it's Alex here from Ninja Teacher, and in this news update video I'm going to just dive straight into the question that we all want the answer to right now, and that's whether the borders are going to be opening up in March or April, as there has been a lot of talk about this in the media. Now let's just get it over with. The short answer to this question is it is not confirmed yet. There has been no official announcement. There's been no red stamp documents just yet. And if you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I really advise everyone not to plan anything until there's official announcements and there has to be some kind of official red stamp documents. And if you follow the news, you'll see Vietnam does do a lot of proposing and mulling and planning. As this guy says, planning to plan, to make a plan that will plan out what they plan to plan. Which is painfully funny. So with that being said, we'll wait for the official news and let you know when that happens. But there has been a lot of positive news lately that is pointing towards or suggesting that this timeline of opening quite soon might actually be a reality. So the biggest piece of news that happened as of today, the 15th of February, which I think is actually a very significant one, is that all the ministries in Vietnam, and if you don't know, Vietnam government is broken up into ministries like tourism, health ministry, etc. All 6 of them, I think they are, agreed in a meeting today that Vietnam should open its borders on the 15th of March. Now again, that doesn't mean it's official, because that's why you see all these articles like Vietnam is mulling or considering, because one ministry proposes it. Like the tourism ministry is always pushing to open for tourism, right? But then the health ministry may push back and say, no, we don't want that. And then it's only official when all of them agree and then the Prime Minister signs off on it. But the fact that they all sat down in a meeting, and it just came out today in the news that they all agree, in principle at least, to open on the 15th of March is a good sign. It may be the case that this 15th of March date will go ahead. We don't know for sure, but that is a pretty significant news update. And the great news about this proposal, if it goes through, is that they are suggesting that only 1 day of quarantine is required, and after that you just get tested when you're done with that 1 day of staying at home, and it doesn't have to be a centralized quarantine. I think it can be a hotel or staying at home basically. And then just within 24 hours you get tested, and then you're free to be going around Vietnam. And visas will be issued again. This is the big one. There weren't proper visas being issued. There were only these very expensive tour packages which were closed, and then you had to leave Vietnam, or you could come in as a foreign expert. I talked about this in a previous video, as well as the recent updates that TRC holders can get back into Vietnam. You can watch that video for more information on that. So that would be fantastic. And what they're saying here is that you only need to be vaccinated, get the PCR test before arrival, I believe it is, and have COVID insurance. As long as that's the case, then you can fly in with a tourist visa from that date. And the big thing is that it would mean no package tours need to be booked. If this is the case, this most recent proposal that I've seen, it was just earlier today that the tourism ministry was proposing to do 3-day package tours that people had to buy, and then they could roam around freely after that, which we don't want to see that. But if this is the case, just test and go, like the Thailand scheme, which is 1 day of hotel quarantine and then you can go freely. If that's the case, that would be fantastic. So fingers crossed for this actually being the case and it going ahead. We'll see what happens. Maybe it'll be in March, April, May. Either way, I think there's been a lot of talk and push towards this. With the other big piece of news that got everyone talking last week, I think it was the Prime Minister asked all these ministries to put together a plan to open by the end of March and the end of April, a full tourist reopening at that point, at the latest by the end of April and preferably by the end of March. That was what the Prime Minister asked for. Again, all the ministries have to agree, it has to be signed off. It's not just when you hear someone in the government talking about it, it doesn't mean it's true and it's going to happen by any means. But once the proposal is agreed on and then the Prime Minister signs off on it, we get the red stamp document, then it'll be official. And then the other big piece of news is that earlier this year, the government allowed flights to start resuming on popular routes back and forth to Vietnam with a frequency cap. But now they've taken that away as of today, actually. So all airlines and flights can fly to and from Vietnam at full capacity if they want to, if they need to, if they have the demand for it. And that's great, because if there's no flights, then it doesn't matter if they opened up tourist visas again, because then you wouldn't be able to fly here, and vice versa. It doesn't really matter that there's flights until they agreed to this proposal and they're issuing visas again. But if those two things become the case, then we're good to go. Finally, the big news update is now after TET, the Lunar New Year, most schools across the country have gone back to in-person teaching, which is great. Different age groups were starting to go back, but now most schools throughout the entire country are going to be having in-person classes again. So that's really great for all the English teachers here that have been teaching online for so long, and it's great for any of you planning to move to Vietnam. So when the borders open, you can get to Vietnam, then search in person for a job, get a job, and you can work in person again, because the majority of jobs in Vietnam are in person. They are only online when you can't be teaching in person. Those are the better paying jobs, those are the more stable jobs, those are the jobs that will get you a work permit. So lots of good news, lots of good potential in the news, I should say. And I'm feeling cautiously optimistic. I don't know if you can tell, I'm a little excited. It's been a long wait for a lot of you. I know a lot of you have been waiting to come move to Vietnam to teach English. We've been waiting to help you guys move here again. And we've had a few hundred people sign up for our online TEFL teacher training course over the last couple of years in preparation of moving here. So we're excited to be able to help people move to Vietnam and get jobs here again, as well as run our in-person TEFL training courses. I'm going to be moving back to Ho Chi Minh City as soon as the borders reopen, so we can run our in-person teacher training courses, and we offer job placement programs. So get in touch with us at ninjateacher.com if that's something you're interested in. Otherwise, just stay tuned. I'm going to obviously post an announcement when it's official, and hopefully that's going to be soon. So stay tuned, and I will speak to you soon in a new video. Peace.